Water presses against your chest like a living thing, cold, slow, and relentless. You can't see the street anymore. The street is gone, swallowed under brown, churning water that carries branches, plastic bottles, someone's refrigerator door, and a child's red shoe that spins in slow circles before drifting past your shoulder. The town you drove into 3 days ago is now a drowned forest of roofs and treetops. Chimneys jut out of the flood like stone fingers, pointing at a sky that refuses to stop crying. Your camera hangs from your neck, knocking lightly against your ribs with every step. Each time it bumps, you feel a tiny flare of panic, because this camera is your livelihood, your witness, your excuse for being here. You lift it above the water with both hands, elbows locked, while your thighs fight the drag of the current. Something moves on the roof ahead. You! Stop! Ripples fan out from your body, distorting the reflection of the gray clouds above. For a moment, all you hear is rain on water, rain on tin, rain on leaves, thousands of tiny impacts merging into a single, endless hiss. Then the sound separates again, and you pick up the low creak of a half-submerged power line swaying behind you. Somewhere, something metal scrapes against brick with a muffled shriek. But your eyes are fixed on the shape on that broken rooftop. It's not debris, it's not human. It stands with its weight balanced perfectly, as if the tilted, sagging shingles are solid ground. Wet fur clings to its ribs in uneven dark streaks, and its tail hangs motionless behind it, straight and deliberate. Its ears point forward, cutting the rain like shallow blades. A wolf. You blink rain out of your lashes, but the shape doesn't dissolve. It lifts its head slightly, and you see the clean, sharp wedge of its muzzle. Pale eyes catch the dull light and throw it back at you in a muted flash. You forgot how big wolves actually are. Photographs never quite get the size right. This one looks even larger against the collapsed roof, like a statue planted at the prow of a sinking ship. Easy, you whisper, though your voice dissolves into the rain almost instantly. You filmed plenty of animals. You spent nights inside camouflaged hides, barely breathing while foxes trotted past less than a meter away. You've waited on cliff edges for hours to capture one eagle dive. You've trained yourself to move slowly, to think like prey, to make yourself smaller so wild things will forget you exist. But you have never filmed a wolf in a drowning town before. You raise the camera, fingertips slick against familiar rubber grips. Your thumb flicks the switch. The lens hums softly as it wakes, glass blinking itself into focus. Through the viewfinder, the world tightens. Chaos framed into a rectangle, noise turned into composition. The wolf sharpens into clarity. Water drips from its jawline, falling in small, steady drops that strike the roof and vanish down invisible channels. Rain beads on its whiskers. Its fur is mottled gray and charcoal, with a streak of almost white running along the throat, like someone drew a line with chalk and then rubbed it in with their sleeve. You frame the shot automatically, rule of thirds, roofline creating a diagonal, a submerged tree trunk echoing the line of the wolf's back. Your mind notes these things out of habit, but there's something else tugging at you, something you can't name. There's something in its mouth. At first you think it's a strip of cloth, maybe part of a curtain or a shirt torn from a rooftop clothesline. A limp, pale shape hangs from its jaws, edges flapping slightly in the wind. You zoom in. The camera whirs. The image jumps closer, then steadies. Not cloth, paper. Thick, yellowed paper, crumpled and soaked. One corner has torn away, leaving a jagged edge. Ink lines run across the surface. Dark veins blurred by water, but still visible. Not random scribbles. Not text. Lines. Shapes. A map. Your finger hesitates on the record button. The wolf shifts its weight. One paw moves forward, claws finding new purchase between broken tiles. Its eyes never leave you. There is an intelligence there that you've seen before in wild animals, but this feels different, less like curiosity, more like assessment. You start recording. The red light appears in the corner of your vision. Audio levels bounce, catching the stampede of raindrops and the faint, hollow slap of waves against drowned walls. You follow the wolf with your lens as it takes another step, and another, the paper bundle swinging gently like a pendulum. The rooftop it stands on used to be a house. You remember driving past it the day before the storm hit, a small cottage with peeling blue shutters and a crooked mailbox half swallowed by ivy. You stopped to take a still photo of it then, amused by the way a tree had grown so close its branches shoved against the roof like someone trying to climb in. Now only that roof remains, half broken, the tree's crown submerged. Leaves float around you in clusters, forming temporary islands before the current tears them apart. You slog forward. Each step sends a dull ache up through your hips. The water is freezing and your jeans are heavy, clinging to your legs like wet clay. Something bumps against your thigh, a chair leg maybe, and then drifts away, a piece of someone's kitchen, someone's life. You keep the camera trained on the wolf, trust your feet to figure out the rest. The plastic of your rain cover sticks to the back of your neck, sweat and damp fighting for territory on your skin. Your breath comes slow, measured, not from calm, but from control. You've learned to manage your own body like another piece of equipment. Closer now. The wolf crouches slightly, muscles compressing under its fur like coiled rope. For a second, you think it's about to leap away. Instead, it lowers its head and carefully sets the soggy paper bundle down on a relatively intact patch of shingles. It doesn't take its eyes off you. The mat clings to the roof, soaped and flattened. Dark lines spiderweb across it, intersecting in small knots. You catch glimpses between raindrops, between the slow slide of muddy water, circles, crosses, a long, looping curve that could be a river or a road. A memory stirs at the back of your mind, faint and unwelcome. The outline of something half forgotten. A curve that feels familiar. A symbol you're sure you've traced before with smaller fingers, at a smaller table, in a house that no longer exists. You tell yourself it's just your imagination clinging to coincidence. Floods rearrange the world. Your brain rearranges the past to match. Okay, you murmur, more to yourself than to the animal. Okay, let's see what you got. You edge closer to the house. The water deepens suddenly, swallowing your waist, then your ribs. Your breath stutters as cold clamps around your lungs like a fist. You bite down on the sound, trying to escape your throat, and angle your body sideways to reduce the drag. The current picks up along the submerged street, funneled between half-hidden cars and collapsed fences. It nudges you back a step, then another. Your boots scrape against something solid, a curb maybe, and you plant your feet leaning forward. The wolf watches. If it wanted to leave, it could. It could vanish with 3 effortless bounds, disappear behind another drowned house, melt into the drowned forest along the edge of town. Wolves don't wait for humans. And yet it stands there, statue still under the rain, the map at its paws. Your fingers have gone numb, but you tighten your grip on the camera anyway, knuckles whitening. You focus, refocus, the image flickers, gaining sharpness, losing it as droplets slide across the lens. You wipe them away with the back of your wrist, smearing water and dirt into a thin film. Through the glass, the map comes into better view. The ink is old, not the crisp black of a recent print, but a softened, almost brown tone that suggests years, maybe decades. 2 lines cross the page like scars, one thick, one thin. At their meeting point, a small symbol marks the intersection. A tree. Not just any tree, a very specific, crooked, lopsided tree with one branch drawn longer than the others, bending down like an arm. Whoever drew it didn't care about realism. They cared about recognition. Your mouth dries despite the rain running past your lips. You know this drawing. You know that tree. You've seen this map before. You were a child then. Your father. No, you stop yourself. You haven't thought about him in years. Not here, not now. This town was just another assignment, another paycheck, another disaster to frame and explain for people who will never smell the rot or feel the weight of wet clothes strangling their skin. You didn't come here to remember. You can't be serious, you whisper, though you're not sure who you're talking to. The wolf, the water, yourself. A low sound rolls out of the wolf's chest, not quite a growl. More like a warning that hasn't decided what it's warning about yet. Its ears twitch, and its gaze flicks past you toward the drowned street you just crossed. You fight the urge to turn immediately. Predators read body language better than lie detectors. Instead, you pivot slowly, keeping the camera brought up as if this is all planned. Behind you, the town stretches into the gray distance, a graveyard of rooftops. A church steeple rises above the others, its cross bent at an angle. Farther away, where higher ground begins, a cluster of emergency lights flickers red and blue and white, muted by distance and rain. Something wooden snaps under the water nearby, the sound muffled but sharp. The current shifts again, tugging at your hips. You angle back toward the wolf. It's no longer standing where it was. Your heart stumbles in your chest. For a fraction of a second, you think it's gone, vanished, like the moment between frames in a jump cut. Then you realize it's moved closer to the edge of the roof, paws braced carefully against loose shingles, body angled in a way that lets it look almost straight into your eyes. The map lies at the very edge now, one corner curling up as if reaching toward you. You are close enough to see the wolf's whiskers, the tiny scars around its muzzle, the way its fur darkens in a line along its spine. You can smell it now too, a faint, musky wildness that cuts through the damp rot of floodwater and broken wood. You lower the camera, just a little. The wolf's head tilts. It looks down at the map, then back at you. It does this twice, deliberately, as if it is demonstrating. You swallow. Your throat feels raw, as if you've been speaking for hours instead of standing here in the rain saying almost nothing at all. This is ridiculous, you say under your breath. You're projecting. Wolves don't show humans maps. But that drawing, that crooked tree, that intersection, the memory refuses to stay buried now. You see it layered over the flooded town like a ghost old forest trails where new roads were poured, a hidden clearing where your childhood self once stood, breathing in the smell of pine and damp soil, listening to a man's voice say, "One day when you're older, you'll find this place again." He never told you why. You never went back. You never found him again either. Thunder rumbles somewhere above the clouds, long and distant like something turning over in its sleep. The wolf's ears twitch once at the sound, then flatten briefly. The water around you surges as another wave of runoff pours down from the hills, sending a quiver through everything, half floating, half anchored. The edge of the roof is less than 2 meters away now. If you take 3 more steps, you could reach out and grab the map, pull it from the roof, press it to your chest, tuck it under your jacket, save it before the water or the wind steals it away. If you take 3 more steps, you will be within leaping distance of a wild wolf. You spent your life respecting distances. The invisible line where your presence becomes intrusion. The space between curiosity and threat. Every instinct you've trained whispers at you now, urging caution. But something older than training stirs beneath that voice. Something that remembers damp pine needles under bare feet. Something that remembers a hand resting on your small shoulder, pointing to a sketched map and saying, "This is only for us." The wolf shifts again, not away from you, toward the far side of the roof, closer to the peak, as if it's making space. The map stays where it is. You feel the decision forming inside you before you've even framed it in words. It gathers like a storm, forming its first spiral, pulling in every stray thought, every memory shard, every pulse of the heart. You raise the camera with one hand and hit record again. With the other, you reach toward the roof, fingers brushing the cold, gravelly edge of the shingles. Water slaps against your chest, trying to push you back. A wave sloshes over your shoulders, soaking the strap of your camera. You tighten your grip and lean in farther. The map flutters under your touch, heavy and fragile like skin that has spent too long in the bath. Above you, the wolf lowers its head, watching every millimeter you move. You slide your fingertips under the edge of the paper. Something shifts beneath the water at your feet. The roof shudders. You have just enough time to look up, to see the wolf's muscles tighten, to see its paws scrabble for purchase, to feel the brief electric understanding that everything is about to drop. When the entire front half of the house tears away, tiles and beams and brick crumbling down into the flood with a roar that swallows the rain. The map, the wolf, the roof, everything tilts toward you, toward the water, toward the dark, rushing depths below. And as your body pitches forward, as your camera swings out over the void, you see something inked in the center of that trembling paper, something you hadn't noticed before. A single word, written in a handwriting you thought you'd never see again. Your name. Water explodes around you. Cold, violent, blind. The collapse drags you under before you can gasp. A crushing rush of debris slams into your shoulder-splintered wood, shredded insulation, a piece of someone's roof pressing you downward as if the flood itself has hands. You twist, kicking hard, boots sliding against nothing. Your lungs clench tight. Light fractures above you, breaking into shimmering ribbons through the torrent of bubbles you're forcing upward. Your camera smashes against your chest. You feel that impact more sharply than anything else. Instinct, not logic, guides your hands. You pull the camera close to your body, shield it with your arms, force your legs to scissor through the churning dark. Something brushes your ankle, something big. Panic slices through you like a wire pulled taut inside your ribs. Then fingers of light flicker just above. You angle toward them, fighting the pull of sinking debris. You break the surface with a violent gasp that rips water from your lungs and cold air into them. The world slams back into place. Wind, splintered beams drifting around you like bones. The roof half of it lies submerged, broken into jagged angles. The other half clings to what's left of the house's frame, trembling with each wave. Your breath trembles out of you in harsh bursts. You turn in a frantic circle, searching for the wolf. For a moment, all you see is the storm-whipped chaos of the flood. Then, a flash of gray. It stands on the remaining peak of the roof, soaked, shaken, but alive. Its fur lies flat against its body, tail lowered, muscles rigid from the near fall. Drops of water run from its jaw like silver threads. The map is gone. Your chest seizes. The wolf watches you. You can't read its expression. Wolves don't wear expressions the way humans do, but there's something intent in the way it fixes its gaze on you, almost assessing whether you're still there, still capable of following. "Where is it?" you choke out, half coughing, half speaking. "Where? Where did it go?" Your own voice sounds wrong, thin. scraped raw from swallowed water and swallowed fear. But the wolf doesn't flinch. It turns its head slightly, ears angling toward the drifting debris river behind you. Your stomach drops. The map went under. Before you can think, before any reasonable part of your brain can speak, your legs are already moving. You swim. Not well, not gracefully. The current catches you like a giant, impatient hand and shoves you sideways. You kick harder, arms scooping water in uneven strokes. Rain slaps your face, blinding you. Each breath tastes like mud and rotting wood. Something taps your shoulder, a floating plank. You push it aside and scan the surface. Nothing, only broken shingles. Stray pages of someone's photo album, faces dissolving into pulp. A plastic laundry basket spinning endlessly in a slow circle. No square of yellowed paper, no ink lines, no name. You feel it then, the same feeling you get when staring at an animal through the viewfinder, when something important is about to happen and the world narrows to a single point of focus. This isn't random. This flood didn't just destroy a town. It uncovered something that was never meant to stay buried forever. And the wolf didn't just happen to be there. It led you to that house, to that map, to your name written in the center like a message sent across time. Another surge of water shoves debris past you. You press your palm against a drifting board and hold yourself still for a moment, breathing with your mouth above the waves. You close your eyes. You try to picture the map exactly as you saw it. The lines, the curve, the symbol of the crooked tree. You try to reconstruct the parts blurred by water, but your mind keeps snagging on the single word written in the center. Your father's voice echoes faintly in memory. Remember this shape, even when you forget everything else. You had forgotten. You let yourself forget, because remembering hurt. When you open your eyes again, the wolf is gone. Your heart drops into your stomach. You twist in the water, scanning every rooftop, every floating trunk, every broken frame. Rain slicks your hair to your forehead. Your breath digs shallow trenches between your ribs as you spin, searching. There, a gray shadow moves along the ridge of a collapsed barn farther up the street. The wolf leaps from one beam to another, weight light and precise despite the height and slippery wood. It glances back. Not long, just enough. Then it turns and bounds onto the sagging roof of a submerged garage. It's leading you, again. You wipe water from your eyes and begin wading toward it, pushing past debris. Each step is a negotiation, your foot probing for something solid before you shift your weight. Twice you stumble. Once you hit your shin on a mailbox hidden beneath the surface. The wolf keeps its pace slow enough for you to follow, a strange sort of partnership. No, not partnership, guidance, a guide. You filmed wolves in the wild. You know how unusual this is. How unlikely. Wolves avoid humans when they can. They don't escort them across ruined towns. But you keep moving. The water begins to shallow gradually as you approach the forested edge of town. Submerged cars rise like barnacles beneath you. The wolf leaps from the garage roof to a toppled pine whose branches scrape the water's surface like broken fingers. You wade closer, chest burning from effort, legs trembling beneath the weight of soaked clothes. The wolf stops and looks directly at you. Its eyes are pale, almost white. So light you can't tell where iris ends and reflection begins. The kind of eyes old stories warn children about. The kind of eyes you once dreamed about as a child, after hiking through those woods with your father before everything changed. Lightning forks silently across the clouds. The wolf turns its head, and you follow its gaze. There, caught on the jagged stump of a fence post, is a scrap of paper. Your pulse jumps. The map, or part of it. You stumble forward, water dragging at your shins like hands reluctant to let you go. When you reach the post, your fingers close around the torn scrap before the next wave can rip it away. The texture is wrong. Too thin, too faded. You unfold it carefully. Not a map, a page from a notebook. Your breath falters. Ink runs down the paper like veins dissolving. The rain has washed away most of the words, but you can still make out the shape of handwriting. Messy, hurried, familiar. And then you see the one part still intact, protected by the fold. A small drawing. A crooked tree. The same tree from the map. Your tree. Your father's tree. A tremor runs down your arms. Not fear, recognition. Something old waking up inside your bones. You swallow hard and look up. The wolf stands on the pine trunk, raindrops glittering on its fur like shards of glass. It stares at the paper in your hand. Then it looks toward the flooded forest behind the town, where drowned trunks rise like skeletons and deeper shadows hide beneath the canopy, as if waiting, as if telling you, there's more. The wind shifts, carrying the smell of wet earth and uprooted roots, the smell you remember from childhood hikes, the smell of the trail your father said led somewhere only the two of you would ever understand. A trail into the deeper woods, a trail marked by a crooked tree. You look back at the wolf. You know what it wants. You also know what following it means, leaving the safety of the emergency zone, heading into unstable ground, into a forest half swallowed by floodwater, into past you tried to bury under layers of adulthood and distance and silence. You grip the soaked page tighter. Your father's handwriting bleeds under your thumb. You whisper, "Why now?" The wolf tilts its head. Not an answer, an invitation. Another wave crashes against your legs, carrying branches and shattered pieces of a house. Sirens howl distantly from the higher ground where rescue teams cluster. You hear shouting, someone calling for remaining civilians to head toward safety, but you're not moving toward them. You take one step deeper into the flooded forest, then another. The wolf waits until you're close enough, then turns and leaps lightly from the pine trunk into the shadows ahead. You follow, because the map wasn't just a message, it was a summons. The forest greets you like a half-forgotten dream, familiar and distorted all at once. Floodwater swirls between the trunks, turning the woods into a drowned cathedral. Tree roots disappear into murky brown currents. Branches sway under the weight of rain, dripping steadily, like the slow ticking of an ancient clock. The air feels different here, quieter, as if the storm's rage loses its voice beneath the canopy. Your boots sink into the softened ground with every step. Mud clings to your soles, pulling, resisting, making movement deliberate and heavy. Water sloshes over your ankles, cold enough to bite. Moss floats past your legs in thin, bright strands, glowing strangely against the brown water. Ahead of you, the wolf moves without sound. It glides between the submerged trunks, pushing gently through the current. The forest seems to part for it, as if long accustomed to its presence. You follow, your breath loud compared to the wolf's silent precision. Each time you stumble, the scrap of notebook page in your pocket taps lightly against your thigh, like a heartbeat that isn't yours. You keep one hand over it, not to protect it, but to make sure it's real. The crooked tree on that scrap wasn't just a drawing, it was a memory, a place, the first location your father ever taught you to sketch on a map. You can still see him crouching beside you, guiding your small fingers across paper, telling you, landmarks matter more than roads. Roads change, but the right tree, the right bend in the river, that's forever. A long breath escapes you, half pain, half remembrance. He believed that the world left messages if you knew how to look. But you were too young then, too young to understand why he was teaching you these things, too young to know what he was preparing you for. You push through a tangle of branches. One snaps back and hits your shoulder with a sting. You wince and keep moving. Above you, a crow croaks from a broken limb. The wolf stops. It stands at the edge of a flooded clearing, its head angled toward something hidden deeper in the trees. Its ears twitch, catching sounds you can't hear. You lift your camera instinctively, but the lens nudges your cheek, wet, heavy, too risky to expose fully in this rain. Instead, you watch, wait, listen. The forest murmurs, water, wind, creaking wood. Beneath it, something subtle brushes the edges of your awareness. A rhythm, repetitive, mechanical. You step forward and freeze. There, barely visible through the mist and branches, stands a structure, half collapsed, half swallowed by water. A shack. Not modern, older wood, older nails, the kind of construction you only see in handmade hunting cabins or decades-old ranger shelters. Your pulse thuds. A memory flickers, vivid and sudden. A similar roofline, a similar slant. Your father's silhouette framed in a doorway, calling you inside to escape a summer storm. You blink. The memory fades, but the shape remains. The wolf pads toward the shack. You follow slowly, every instinct in your body telling you this place matters, that it is not random, that the storm ripped away enough of the world for you to see something that had been hidden a long time. You reach the shallowest part of the clearing. Water laps against your shins. The shack leans against a fallen oak, its walls buckled, roof sagging. One window is shattered, frame hanging crookedly like a broken jaw. Your fingers brush the rough wooden wall as you move closer. It feels familiar. Not in recognition, but in the way old things feel, thick with memory, coated in silence. The wolf stops at the door. It looks back at you. A simple look. A clear instruction. You reach for the rusted handle and push. The door groans open. Inside, the air changes. Dampness thickens with a new scent, old paper, mildew, wood rot, and something faintly metallic. Small waves ripple across the floor where water has seeped in, pooling in uneven hollows. You step inside. Your boots splash softly. The wolf remains in the doorway, blocking the rain but letting the dim forest light spill across the room. Your eyes adjust. The interior is small, just a single room with a collapsed bunk in one corner and a table drowned under scattered tools, rusted cans, and clutter swept here by the storm. But something else catches your attention. A shelf, still standing. still intact. And on it, protected from the worst of the flood by its height, lies a metal container. Not just any container. You know that shape, that latch, that dull green paint, a military field box. Your breath stutters, hitching unexpectedly. Your father owned one just like this. You step closer, each movement careful, as if the air around the box is fragile, as if it might shatter into dust if you move too fast. Your fingers find the latch. It sticks. You push harder. Metal squeals and gives. The lid creaks open. Inside, a roll of waterproof fabric, a sealed envelope, a metal compass dulled by age, a small tin with your father's initials scratched on the lid, HD, and at the bottom, you stop breathing. A map, not soaked, not ruined, protected by the box, the same map the wolf carried, only intact. Edges crisp. Ink lines clean, the crooked tree at the center exactly as you remember, and beneath it, written in that same handwriting you tried so hard to forget. Find what I couldn't. Your stomach folds inward. Your vision blurs around the edges. The forest seems to hold its breath. You slide the map carefully from the box. It's heavier than you expect, the paper thick, almost waxed. Your thumb follows the curve of the trail on the page, the curve that leads deeper into the woods, away from the known paths, towards something marked only with a symbol you don't recognize. A symbol like a sun with too many rays. Behind you, the wolf shifts. You look up. It has stepped into the shack now, paws silent on the warped wooden boards. Rain drips from its fur onto the floor. Its pale eyes fix on the map in your hands. The message is unmistakable. This is what it wanted you to find. You swallow hard. What is this? Your voice cracks low and raw. Why now? Why after all these years? The wolf holds your gaze, not answering, acknowledging, waiting. You unroll the map fully on the table, smoothing its corners with trembling hands. The trail leads straight out of the shack, deeper into the drowned forest, to a place your father must have wanted you to find, a place he couldn't reach, a place only the storm could reveal. Something shifts outside. A rush of wind pushes through the doorway. The shack groans under the pressure, wood creaking like bones remembering movement. You gather the map, the compass, the envelope. You slide them inside your jacket carefully, sealing the zipper as tightly as you can. When you step back outside, the wolf is already moving toward the deeper trail. You follow, your steps heavy but certain, because this is no longer just a discovery. It's a continuation, a story your father started a lifetime ago and left unfinished. The forest tightens around you the deeper you go. The storm's voice fades behind the canopy, replaced by the slow drip of water from saturated leaves and the distant groan of shifting branches. The flood still covers much of the ground, but here it feels calmer, less violent, more controlled, as if the forest itself is taming the water. The wolf walks ahead of you, steady and silent, weaving between trunks with the ease of something that belongs here. Every few steps, it stops to glance back, not checking on you, but confirming you're still following. You are. You don't dare fall behind. Not now. Not with the map pressed against your chest, its sharp edges cutting faint lines through the lining of your jacket. Not with your father's handwriting echoing in your mind like a heartbeat. Find what I couldn't. The words feel heavier in this place, like they thicken the air. You step over a fallen branch, water sloshing around your shins. The compass in your pocket taps lightly against your hip with every movement. Its weight is strange, an old, familiar weight, like holding a piece of childhood you convinced yourself you didn't miss. But you do. You miss everything. You miss him. A shadow flickers above you, and for a moment the trees seem to bend inward, closing you off from the world you came from. The path narrows, the air cools, the sounds shift. The wolf stops again, its ears twitching towards something ahead. You listen. At first you hear nothing. Then a rhythm, soft, repeating, hollow. A knocking, no, not knocking, dripping, but not random, consistent, measured, like water hitting wood in the exact same place over and over, building a pattern, a pulse. You follow the wolf toward the sound. Branches snag at your sleeves, twigs snap underfoot. The air tastes like wet bark and something faintly metallic, the same scent that greeted you in the shack. It prickles the back of your tongue. The wolf steps around a bend in the trail. When you catch up, the world opens. A clearing lies ahead, circular, unnatural in its symmetry. The trees at its edges lean away, as if pushed back by something that expanded from the center. The ground here rises slightly above the floodline, forming a shallow island of moss and stone. At the center stands a structure, not a building, not exactly, more like an altar, built from stacked river stones, slick with moss, tall enough to reach your waist, wide enough to hold something, an object, a container, a message. But right now, it holds only water dripping from the branches above, pooling inside a shallow carved basin. Your breath stumbles, because you've seen this shape before. Not in life, in the map. It was the symbol you didn't recognize, the sun with too many rays. But now, standing before it, you see what it truly represents. Not a sun, not rays, tree roots. The stone altar is carved with a pattern that radiates outward like the tangled roots of an ancient tree, a tree like the one on your father's map, a crooked tree, the same one he taught you to draw, the same one he circled. Your pulse quickens. You step closer, boots sinking into soft moss. The wolf stands at the edge of the clearing, watching you intently. Not pacing, not restless, waiting for you. Your hands tremble slightly as you trace the carved lines with your fingertips. The grooves are deep, worn by years of weather. Water collects in them, forming tiny streams that converge and fall into the basin at the center. You lean closer. Something is inside the basin. You brush away pooled water with the flat of your hand. A metal ring emerges from the sediment, slick and dark with age. Your breath hitches. You dig your fingers into the mud, pulling until the object frees itself with a soft suction sound. It's a canister, cylindrical, about the length of your forearm, heavy, sealed with a rusted cap and wrapped with leather straps that once were tight but now sag loosely. Your camera swings against your chest as you lift the canister into the light. The wolf shifts again, a slow, deliberate motion. Its gaze sharpens. You feel it even before you see it. The canister has markings, scratches, lines, etched deeply into the metal. You wipe the surface with your sleeve, smearing away mud and moss until the pattern becomes unmistakable. Your initials, not your father's, not someone else's, yours, carved when the metal was still soft, when the lines were still neat. Carved by a hand small enough to hold a tool awkwardly. Carved when you were a child. Your legs weaken. The world narrows, the forest blurs. You grip the canister with both hands, as if letting go would undo reality itself. A memory flashes behind your eyes, quick, fractured, incomplete. A table, your father's hand guiding yours, the sound of scraping metal. His voice, "One day you'll come back for this." Your throat closes, breath stuttering. You hear the forest again, every drop, every creak, every distant groan. But beneath it, something else stirs, a memory that was buried too deeply, displaced by time, drowned by choice. You peel the leather straps away. The cap resists. You brace the canister against your knee and twist with both hands. Metal squeals. Then, the cap turns. You freeze for a moment, palms slick with rain and mud, your heart punching against your ribs. The wolf takes a single step forward, silent as a shadow. You take a breath and open the canister. A scroll slides out. Thick paper protected by layers of wax-coated cloth. You unroll it slowly, afraid of tearing something that has survived. Storms, years, and whatever silence your father kept. Ink blooms across the page in familiar strokes. A map, not the one the wolf carried, not the one from the shack. A different map, a deeper one. This one is older, more detailed, marked with symbols you've never seen, and one you have, the crooked tree. At the top of the map, in the same handwriting, if you're reading this, it means the forest chose you too. Your breath falters. A chill ripples up your spine. You read the next line, "Follow the wolf. It knows the way." You lift your head slowly. The wolf stands at the edge of the clearing, rain dripping from its fur, its pale eyes locked on you with something that looks almost like recognition. As if this moment was not chance. As if it has been waiting for you. As if your father prepared it, trained it, trusted it, and for the first time you feel the full weight of what's happening. This isn't just a trail, not just a forgotten place, not just a message. It's a legacy, and you were always meant to find it. You leave the altar behind, but it doesn't leave you. Every step you take feels tethered to that clearing, to the canister whose metal still chills your palms, to the map tucked inside your jacket that your father somehow prepared for you long before this storm ever existed. The wolf leads again, silent, sure-footed, always just far enough ahead that you have to keep choosing to follow. It moves with a kind of patience that feels intentional, almost ritualistic, as if this path has been walked many times before, just never by you. You wade through knee-deep water, pushing aside branches, feeling the suction of mud pulling at your boots. Your breath fogs in the cool, saturated air. Rain still falls, but the canopy softens it into a fine mist, like the forest is exhaling around you. The compass taps lightly against your hip. You check it once, the needle quivers, not pointing north, pointing somewhere else, toward the direction the wolf is moving. You frown, tap the glass. The needle swings, hesitates, then settles again, unwavering, pointing at the wolf. A thin shiver travels across your shoulders. You put the compass away quickly, unwilling to question what it means. Not yet. Instead, you focus on the map in your jacket. You don't take it out, not because you want to protect it from rain, because you're afraid. Afraid of what you'll find if you look again. Afraid of realizing you remember more than you want to. Afraid the trail it reveals won't be metaphor, but purpose. You step over a submerged log and pause at a sound. Low, distant, rhythmic. Not rain, not wind, not water. Drumming. Your pulse stutters. The wolf pauses at the same moment, ears twitching. It tilts its head slightly, listening, reading the trees the way you read light through a lens. Then, without warning, it darts left off the barely visible trail into a thicker part of the forest. Wait! You push after it, branches slapping your shoulders, water splashing high as you break into a half-run. The forest darkens here. The canopy is thicker, older, the trunks wide and black with moss. The air hums with something quieter than sound, like memory vibrating through bark. The drumming grows louder. You recognize the rhythm, not from this place, not from this life. A childhood memory rises like steam. You're small, knees scraped, your hand wrapped in your father's. He leads you through a dusk-lit forest. Somewhere ahead, a steady thump, thump, thump. You ask him what it is. He kneels, ushers you lower. It's how the forest speaks, he whispers. It warns, it remembers, it calls. Your breath catches. You slow, not from exhaustion, from realization. The sound you're hearing now isn't exactly drumming. It's impact, a rhythmic knock. Wood against wood, or stone against wood. You step into a narrow clearing and freeze. A towering cedar tree stands at the center, its trunk thicker than a truck, its bark peeling in long strips. Rain gutters down its sides. Its roots twist across the ground like frozen serpents, and there, striking the base of the trunk with its forehead, is a deer. Your throat tightens. It stands hip-deep in water, trembling, sides heaving, antlers cracked and slick with mud. It stares at the tree as if waiting for some invisible door to open. Then it steps back, lowers its head, and slams it against the trunk. Thump! It staggers, regains balance. Thump! The sound reverberates through the clearing, through your ribs. The wolf circles the deer, not threatening, not hunting, observing. It keeps its distance, eyes narrowed, posture rigid with tension. The deer doesn't react to its presence, doesn't notice you either. Something is wrong, very wrong. Easy, you whisper, though the word feels meaningless here. The deer strikes the trunk again. And this time, a long, low groan rises from the tree. Your skin prickles. Not wind, not wood swelling, a resonance as though the tree is responding. The deer collapses suddenly, legs folding beneath it. Water splashes upward around its body. It lies still, chest heaving shallowly. Then, too fast for you to react, the wolf moves. It steps close to the deer, touches its nose to the deer's muzzle, breath mingling. A moment passes, strange, still, heavy. You don't understand what you're seeing, but you feel it. The forest isn't acting like a forest, and the animals aren't acting like animals. Something else is happening, something older. The wolf steps away from the collapsed deer, turns, and looks directly at you. Its eyes, those pale, almost white eyes, hold not urgency, not fear, expectation. Like it's waiting for you to notice something you've been trying not to see. You step closer to the cedar. The tree's bark is deeply carved, but not by nature, by hands, by tools, by time. Symbols cover the trunk in spirals and intersecting lines. Some are familiar. The crooked tree, a compass shape, a circle with rays that now appear to be roots. Others are new layered markings that feel like warnings, instructions, perhaps even coordinates. Your fingers hover over one symbol in particular, a handprint, small, child-sized. You swallow, press your palm over it. Your hand fits, a perfect match. The forest exhales. The cedar releases a soft crack like ice breaking under tension. From within the symbols, something glints, metal catching the dim light. You lean closer. A hinge, a hidden seam. Your breath thins. This tree, this place, your father's map. The wolf. None of this is coincidence. Your palm slides to the edge of the seam. You push. The bark shifts, not outward, but inward, revealing a narrow compartment carved into the trunk. Inside lies a sealed wooden box, small, weathered, wrapped in twine. And on the lid, your father's handwriting, open only when you're ready to know. Your pulse pounds. Your grip tightens around the box. Behind you, the wolf steps closer, its breath warm against the back of your leg. You kneel in the water, heart hammering in your ears, and place the box on your lap. Your fingers hesitate over the twine, because whatever is inside, it's the truth your father couldn't face. The truth he said the forest chose you for. The truth that brought a wolf to your path. You pull the string. The box snaps open. Inside lies a folded sheet of thick waxed paper older than any you've seen so far. You lift it carefully, hands shaking. A map? No, a letter. You unfold it and read the first line. You were never supposed to forget what happened in these woods. Your vision blurs, your mouth goes dry. You force yourself to read the next line, but I needed you to survive. The letter trembles in your hands. Not from the cold, though the rain has soaked through your sleeves and turned your skin numb. Not from exhaustion, though your legs feel hollow from walking through miles of flooded forest. No, you're trembling because of the words you haven't read yet, the words you're afraid to face. The wolf stands beside you now, not ahead, not leading, close, watching. Its pale eyes fixed on the paper as if it already knows what it says, as if it remembers something you don't. You look down at the letter again, ink smeared in a few places from time and moisture, but the handwriting is unmistakable. Sharp strokes, heavy lines. Your father pressed too hard when he wrote, the pen digging into the paper like he was trying to carve his thoughts into permanence. Your fingers tighten. You begin reading. You were never supposed to forget what happened in these woods, but I needed you to survive, and memory can be a dangerous weight. Your breath stutters. Survive? Survive what? Your eyes skim ahead, desperate, hungry. If you're reading this, the forest has allowed you to return. It does not allow everyone back. The cedar tree creaks above you, water running down its trunk like thin rivers. You feel something shift under the surface of the ground, a deep, subtle pulse like the forest inhaling. You keep reading. When you were small, the forest marked you. Not by chance, not by accident. It chose you because it saw something in you. Your grip tightens on the letter. The world narrows until only the ink exists. The wolf's fur brushes your knee, grounding you, steadying your breath. You continue. I should have told you this when you were old enough. I should have prepared you. But after what happened that night, I couldn't do it. I couldn't look at you and see what the forest had done. A sharp ache twists through your ribs. What did the forest do to you? What did he see? The rain seems to quiet, as though the whole canopy is listening, waiting. Your eyes fall to the next lines. You disappeared for hours. I searched everywhere. Then the wolf found you. Cold slides along your spine. Your hand drifts unconsciously to the wolf's fur, but you stop before touching it, unsure if you have the right, unsure if the memory would break the moment. Your father's words deepen. You came out of the woods at dawn, soaked and shaking, clutching a map you said you didn't draw. You told me the forest showed you the way. And the wolf watched from the ridge the whole time. A flash of something hits you, quick and sharp, like distant lightning. You're small, cold, holding a rolled piece of paper. A wolf shadowed on a ridgeline above you, silent, patient. Then the memory dissolves, slipping out of your mind like water through fingers. You swallow and read the next lines. You spoke of a place deeper in the woods, a place you said was waiting for you, a place I could never find no matter how many times I searched. Your pulse quickens. You know that place. It's on the map. It's where the trail leads. Your father hadn't written its name. He had drawn only a symbol, the strange sunburst roots, the one carved into the cedar trunk. Your eyes return to the letter. When the forest marks someone, it changes their memory. It changes their path. I watched it pull your thoughts away from the world. I watched you wake up crying from dreams you couldn't describe. Your stomach knots, dreams, nightmares, glimpses of trees where there should be walls, a wolf's pale eyes watching from shadows that didn't exist in your room. You push the memories back. They rise anyway. You force yourself to read. So I made a choice. I took you away from here. I broke the trail. I hid every map. I told myself it was better for you to forget, but the forest doesn't forget. The paper trembles between your fingers. You stare at those last 6 words until they blur. The forest doesn't forget. A branch snaps somewhere behind you. Not from weight, from age, from something listening too closely. You continue. I knew this day might come. I prayed it wouldn't, but the storm, it must have uncovered what I couldn't hide. You lift your head. The wolf watches you, silent, steady. The forest seems darker now, each tree leaning inward, listening. You read the final lines. If you're here, the forest wants something from you again. Follow the wolf. But be careful. What lives deeper in the woods isn't just memory. It's the truth I could never face, the truth I couldn't protect you from. The last sentence is smeared, the ink warped from dampness. But you can still read it. You wish you couldn't, and it's waiting for you. You lower the letter slowly, your hands numb. A silence spreads through the clearing, thick and heavy, soaked with meaning. The cedar tree looms above you like a sentinel. The deer's limp form lies partially submerged nearby, still breathing faintly, as if caught between worlds. The wolf takes a step toward you. Its nose nudges your elbow, soft, gentle, as if telling you, there is more. We go on, but you feel something else in that touch too. Urgency, tension, almost fear. Your father feared the deeper woods. The forest marked you. The wolf found you as a child, and something is waiting for you now. A truth buried deeper than memory. A truth your father ran from. A truth the storm has finally uncovered. The wolf turns and pads toward the far side of the clearing, toward a path narrower, darker, swallowed by hanging branches. It stops, looks back at you. It doesn't blink. It doesn't breathe visibly. It just waits, calling you forward, into the darkest part of the forest. The forest closes behind you like a door. Not literally, just the feeling, the pressure, the way sound changes when you step deeper into a place that isn't meant for many footsteps. It's quieter here, but the silence is not empty. It's watchful. Every leaf, every drop, every distant groan of wood feels tuned towards you. The wolf leads, its paws barely disturbing the shallow film of floodwater that has seeped this far. You follow, fighting the tug of mud and the weight of soaked clothes. The letter stays folded in your pocket, but its words pulse through your skull like a heartbeat you can't unhear. The forest marked you. It changed your memory. What lives deeper in the woods isn't just memory. Your father's voice lingers in every thought now, every warning he never voiced, every look he gave you when you were young, haunted and tired, unable to explain the dreams you no longer remember. The path narrows again, branches tangle overhead, dripping water in rhythmic taps. The smell of wet bark thickens. Patches of fog cling to roots like they're trying to hide what lies beyond them. You glance down at the compass. The needle points not north, not anywhere a compass should point. It turns slowly until it aligns with the wolf, as if the forest itself is rewiring its sense of direction. You shove it back into your pocket before your mind can break under the weight of that realization. The wolf slows. You stop a few steps behind it. Then the world shifts, not physically, your vision, your perception, a flicker, a shimmer, a tearing at the edge of sight like you're looking at the world through warped glass for half a second. You blink hard. It's gone. The wolf watches you, head low, posture alert, not fearful, braced, like it expects the forest to test you here. "What was that?" you whisper under your breath. No answer, only a rustling, a soft, unnatural hum. Like wind whispering through something hollow, the wolf turns forward again. You continue! The path begins to rise, subtle at first, then steeper. The ground becomes rockier, the trees sparser, the floodwater drains away behind you. Your boots find firmer earth. The air grows colder, sharper, almost electric. You lift your gaze and stop breathing. Ahead, through a gap in the trees, a ridge rises, a narrow spine of stone leading to a plateau that overlooks the drowned forest. And on that plateau stands a shape, a silhouette you recognize even before your mind accepts it. The crooked tree, the one from the map, from the canister, from your childhood memory, from the forest that marked you. Its trunk bends at an impossible angle, like it's bowing under the weight of centuries. One branch juts outward, long and low, just as your father drew it. Moss drapes from its limbs like ancient cloth. But something is different. Something is wrong. A faint glow pulses beneath its roots. A soft, golden light. Slow. Breathing. Your pulse kicks hard. Memories ripple through your chest, splintered and flickering. Your small hands drawing a symbol. Your father's worried gaze. The shadow of a wolf on a ridge. The wolf waits for you at the base of the incline. You climb. Every step burns. Your thighs ache. Your breath becomes jagged. But you keep going, because something inside you is waking up, stirring beneath layers of forgotten years, something that feels like recognition and fear. Midway up the ridge, you stop, not because you're tired, because you hear something, a voice, faint, distant, calling your name. You whip around, heart hammering. The forest below lies still, shrouded in mist. No movement, no figure, no one who could have spoken. You swallow hard. "Just the wind," you whisper, forcing the lie through clenched teeth. But your body knows better. Your skin prickles, your breath thins, your instincts scream. You've heard that voice before. You climb faster. The wolf reaches the plateau ahead of you. It stands beside the crooked tree, its silhouette framed against the faint golden glow beneath the roots. When you pull yourself onto the plateau, you freeze. Because now you see the light clearly, not random, not natural. It comes from a fissure, a thin, jagged crack in the stone directly beneath the tree, a crack that didn't exist when you were a child, or maybe did, and you simply forgot. The glow pulses slowly like a heartbeat. Your name ripples faintly through your mind again, distant, warped, as if underwater. The wolf steps aside, giving you space. Your chest tightens because you realize something terrible and true. This is where the forest marked you. This is where you disappeared as a child. This is where your father couldn't follow. Your hands shake. You kneel beside the crack, your fingers hovering inches above its warm glow. A memory slams into you. Not gentle, not soft, like a door forced open. You see yourself smaller, soaked, lost, standing in this exact spot years ago. You see the wolf, this wolf, waiting beside you. You see the tree glowing faintly. You see your small hand pressed against the fissure. And then, a flash, a surge, a burst of golden light swallowing everything. The memory stops there, torn apart by time, by whatever your father did to spare you. Your nails scrape the stone as the world tilts. the glow rising in waves that shake your breath into fragments. The letter's warning echoes inside you. What lives deeper in the woods isn't just memory. You lower your hand toward the glow, and the light flares bright. The ground trembles, the wolf growls, low, urgent. You jerk your hand back instinctively, but the glow pulses again, stronger this time, and a shape begins forming within it. A silhouette. Not a memory, not a hallucination. A person, standing beneath the crooked tree, swaying, flickering, like someone caught between here and somewhere else. Your heart slams so hard it hurts. The silhouette lifts its head, and through the glow, through the years, through the impossible, you see a face you haven't seen since childhood. A face you buried in grief. A face you're not ready to see. Your father. The world narrows to a single impossible sight. Your father standing in the glow beneath the crooked tree. Not a memory, not a reflection, not a hallucination rising from rain and exhaustion. He looks real, solid, human, but also not. His outline flickers at the edges, like candlelight struggling against wind. His clothes ripple as if underwater. His features, those familiar, beloved features, shift between sharpness and blur, as though the light can't fully decide how to shape him. Your mouth goes dry, your knees weaken, the entire forest tilts. You stumble back a step. The wolf nudges the back of your leg, steady grounding, before positioning itself between you and the fissure, low and alert, tail rigid, not threatening your father, guarding you from the thing wearing his shape. Because now you see it. This isn't your father. Not exactly. It moves like him. It stands like him. Its face is his face. But the eyes are wrong. Not the warm brown you remember. Not even human. They shine with the same faint gold as the fissure. Your pulse thunders painfully loud. The figure raises a hand, slow, wavering, as if learning the movement from memory. It reaches toward you. The glow stretches from its palm, thin threads of light tugging at the air like invisible roots searching for soil. You swallow hard. Your voice breaks on the first attempt. "Dad?" The echo comes back distorted, your voice twisting through the clearing, warped by the presence of the fissure. The figure's mouth opens, but the voice that emerges is layered, your father's tone underneath something deeper, older, like wind rushing through hollow wood. "You came back!" The words slam into you. Your legs almost fold, your nails dig into your palms. You feel 8 years old again, lost, scared, clutching a map drawn by a stranger, searching for your father through the dark. The wolf growls low and tense. You lift a shaking hand. I thought you were dead." The figure tilts its head, as if considering those words. "I was." The voice cracks, reshapes itself. "Not all of me left." Your stomach turns. "What does that mean?" The figure lifts its face toward the glowing fissure, the light pulsing stronger with its movement, as if responding to it. "It kept part of me." A beat. "Because it took part of you." A tremor spiders down your spine. "What kept you? What took me?" The figure steps closer. The wolf snaps its jaw, warning it back. Branches overhead groan. The fissure brightens. Your heartbeat tries to climb out of your throat. "You belong to it," the figure says quietly. "From the moment it marked you." You shake your head, desperate to deny it. "I don't remember." "That's exactly why." The voice sharpens. "Because I made you forget." The forest holds its breath. Your pulse stutters, then races into panic. You stare at him, at the thing wearing him, unable to process those words. Your father made you forget? Not the forest, not fate or trauma or fear. Him. You erase my memory? Your voice cracks open. The figure closes its flickering eyes. "To save you." The fissure pulses again, bright gold, then dim, then bright, as if each word feeds it. You take a shaking step forward. "Save me from what?" A gust of air rushes from the crack. Warm, unnatural, carrying a scent you can't place. Something like sap, metal, and burnt stone. Your father, whatever he is now, speaks without opening his eyes. "From the reason you disappeared that night?" Your hands tremble so violently you almost dropped a letter. "What happened to me?" The wolf whines softly, an eerie, fragile sound you've never heard from a wolf. It circles you once, brushing your thigh like it's reminding you, "It's real! It's here! It's with you!" Then it faces the fissure again, tail low, body stiff. Your father opens his eyes, and now they look almost human. "Almost. You followed it," he says. "You let the light in. You choke on a breath." "What light?" He points to the fissure. The glow flares, and then, like a dam breaking, a memory slams into you. Not a fragment, not a flash, a complete moment. You're young, maybe 7, running through this very forest, laughing, breathless, following the pale wolf through trees glowing faintly in the dark. The wolf leads you here, to the crooked tree. The fissure is open wide, radiant. Golden tendrils curl out of it like living vines, brushing your arms, your cheeks, your mind. You stand in front of it, hand lifted, not afraid, entranced, chosen. The memory shatters into brightness. You gasp, nearly falling. The forest wavers. Your vision distorts. The world bends. Your father's voice breaks through the disorientation. "You touched the light," he says softly. "You let it inside you." Your chest tightens painfully. "What did it do to me?" He hesitates, and when he speaks, the words are a wound. "It marked your mind. It opened your memory to the forest, and the forest remembered you. You feel sick. You stole the memory to protect me from it." He nods once. "And I stayed," he whispers, eyes darkening in the glow, "because one of us had to keep watch. One of us had to make sure it didn't call you back." Your breath fractures. "And now it has," you say. A long silence. "Then it wants what you took with you." You shake your head. "What? I don't understand. What did I take?" Your father gestures toward your jacket. "The map, the compass, the box, the childhood markings. It gave you something," he says. "Something it cannot reclaim without you." Your pulse hammers. "What is it?" He steps closer. The wolf snaps. The figure stops and answers. "A memory. The forest itself forgot." The words echo into your bones. You step back instinctively. I don't have anything like that." He shakes his head. "You don't remember having it." A beat. "That doesn't mean it's not there." The fissure brightens, brighter than before, golden light spilling across the plateau, illuminating your face, your hands, the wolf's rigid form. Your father's silhouette flickers violently. He clutches his temples. "Hurry," he rasps. "While I can still hold its shape, its voice, its will." Your throat locks. "Hurry what?" "To choose," he says. "To give it back, or to finish what you began the night you followed the wolf." You stare at him, frozen. The wolf turns its head toward you, slow, steady, ancient eyes reflecting the fissure's glow. And in its gaze, you feel the truth. You already know what waits in the next moment. You already know what the forest wants. You just don't remember remembering it. You take a breath, step toward the light. The fissure pulses, and something moves inside it. Not a shadow, not a flicker, something alive, something waking. The fissure expands, not slowly, not gently. It widens with a deep, resonant crack that shakes the stone beneath your boots. Golden light spills out in a sudden violent beam, washing over the plateau, the crooked tree, the wolf, you, until the world seems carved from molten dawn. You throw one arm over your eyes. The brightness is too much, thick and living, like standing in the heart of a sunrise pulled too close. Heat brushes your skin, not burning, but probing, like a palm studying the shape of your face. The wolf presses against your hip, trembling, not from fear, but tension, readiness. A soldier bracing for a war older than any human. Your father's form flickers wildly beside the tree. He's breaking, unraveling, losing coherence. He grasps his head, fractured light spilling from the seams in his silhouette. "Hurry!" His voice warps. "It knows you're here!" The golden light twists inside the fissure, coiling like a living storm. Something takes shape, slowly, steadily. An outline first, then mass, then movement. Not a creature, not a person, something between, like a memory given flesh, like a moment trying to walk. Your breath turns shallow, your palms sweat. Your heart drums so hard it hurts, and then it steps forward, a figure of light, human in shape, fluid in form. Its surface ripples like water disturbed by wind. Golden threads pulse beneath translucent skin, branching like roots or neural pathways. No face, no eyes, but it looks at you. You feel that gaze like a hand inside your chest. Your knees buckle. Your father's breaking voice reaches you through the glow. "It remembers you." The figure of light lifts one arm, slow, graceful, and the air bends around it, shimmering like heat on asphalt. Its movements vibrate the ground beneath your feet, as though each gesture rearranges the shape of the forest. It speaks, not with sound, with memory. A voice blooms inside your skull, warm, resonant, echoing in the deepest chambers of thought. "Return what was taken." You stagger backward. The wolf snarls, a low, ancient sound that vibrates through your bones. It steps between you and the figure, fur bristling, muscles taut, protecting you with a ferocity that feels deeply personal. The voice enters your mind again. "Return what belongs to the forest!" Your hands clutch your jacket instinctively where the maps, the compass, the canister rest. But it's not asking for paper, not for tools. It wants the memory your father said the forest forgot. The memory you carried out as a child, the memory that made the forest mark you. Your voice breaks free in a shattered whisper. "I don't know what it is." Light ripples through the figure. Frustration maybe, or impatience, or hunger. Then, the fissure flares again, brighter than ever, and the world around you changes. Not the forest, your mind. Flash! You're small again, knees muddy, hands trembling. The wolf beside you, not older, not younger, exactly the same. The crooked tree glows faintly overhead. And from the fissure, from the endless light, a shape reached for you, touched your forehead, left something inside you, a seed, a spark, a memory not your own. Then, darkness, your father's voice screaming your name through the trees. You blink hard, the plateau reappears. The wolf presses closer to you, the figure of light waits. You wipe rain and sweat from your face with a shaking hand. What did it give me? Your father's flickering form tries to respond, but collapses to one knee, his outline fraying like torn film. The figure answers instead, its voice blooming behind your eyes. The forest's first memory! Your breath dies in your throat. Not metaphor, not myth, not story, a real memory, one so old the forest itself forgot it, and it placed it inside you. The light figure steps closer. The ground quakes. The fissure widens. Roots tremble beneath the tree. The wolf snarls louder, baring its teeth. You stumble backward, but your heel slips on slick stone, and you drop to one knee. The map presses hard against your chest. The compass clinks against your ribs. The figure extends its hand. Golden light stretches toward you like a reaching vine. You feel it brushing your thoughts, soft, probing, searching through the locked doors of your memory. Your vision blurs, your mind burns, you scream, and the wolf lunges. Its body slams into the beam of light, breaking the contact. The forest echoes with a burst of energy, a shockwave rippling through the air like thunder underwater. The light figure recoils. The wolf collapses to the ground, shaking its head violently, stunned. No! You scramble to its side, hands buried in its wet fur. The wolf breathes, trembling, eyes squeezed shut. But it's alive. You turn back to the light figure, fury rising through fear. What gives you the right to take anything from me? Your voice is raw, cracked, human. The figure tilts its head, and the voice inside you answers simply, you are part of us. You shake your head violently. No, I'm human. Another ripple of light. Human, forest, memory, all the same. Your father's broken image staggers upright. His voice fractures. Don't listen to it. The light figure steps closer, glow intensifying. Return the memory, or let the forest take you back. You feel the truth behind those words. The choice your father feared. The choice he hid from you. The choice that returning here has forced back into your hands. The wolf pushes itself up, standing shakily between you and the light again, teeth bared despite its trembling. You place a hand on its fur, a silent promise. Your father's silhouette looks at you, eyes dim, form collapsing. The forest waits, the light waits, the truth waits, and you understand you either give back the ancient memory or become part of the forest forever. You take a breath, one that feels like the first you've taken in years. You step forward, toward the fissure, toward the light, toward your father, toward the wolf, toward the truth. The moment of choice has come. The light reaches for you. It stretches from the fissure in one long, trembling line like a vein pulled out of the earth, seeking your chest, your thoughts, your very sense of self. The glow warms the air until the forest seems to breathe with it, every leaf trembling in anticipation. The wolf steps in front of you again, not snarling now, not braced to attack, just there, a protector, a witness, a companion who has followed you through flood and forest, through memory and forgetting. The figure of light lowers its hand, recalibrating its approach. The glow softens, the force pulling at your mind withdraws, slightly, cautiously, as if sensing that force alone won't make you yield. You feel it enter your thoughts more gently now, like fingers brushing the dust off an old book. Your father's voice shreds the air. Don't let it take all of you, please! He collapses to the ground, his flickering silhouette glitches, fragments, dissolving into drifting shards of gold. You lunge toward him on instinct, but the wolf blocks you, nudging your chest back with its muzzle. You freeze. It's telling you something, not with words, with presence, with absolute clarity. This is not your father anymore. This is just the forest's echo of him. Your throat locks, your heart fractures, but your hand stays still. The glowing fissure pulses in slow, heavy breaths. Waiting, watching, hungering. You reach into your jacket with trembling fingers and pull out the map. The first one, the intact one, the one your father kept hidden for years. The paper's texture is almost warm from your body heat. Inked lines ripple under the golden light like they're waking, stretching. You hold it up. What did I take from you? Your voice cracks, but the strength behind it is new, steady, yours. The figure of light shifts, the forest exhales, and suddenly it shows you, not by speaking, not by touching, but by pulling open the memory it planted in you long ago. Your vision dissolves, and the world becomes the forest's first moment, darkness, then a spark. A single seed root pushing through soil under a newborn sun. No humans, no animals, just the first living thread of the forest rising into air thick with birth. You feel its first touch of wind, its first drop of rain, its first fear of night. You feel it grow, century by century, branches thickening, roots spreading, becoming the crooked tree itself, watching over the land long before your family ever walked here. Then lightning, fire, storm, a moment so violent the forest tore its own memory apart to survive, and in doing so, forgot itself. Forgot its beginning, forgot why it lived. That lost memory, the birth of the forest, had nowhere to go until it saw you, a child alone in the woods, unafraid, curious, open, and so it placed the memory inside you, safe, hidden, human, until now. The vision collapses, you gasp, falling to your knees, the map trembling in your hands. The forest consciousness stands before you, its light flickering faster, desperate. It wants the memory back. It wants its beginning, its identity, its purpose. You reach into yourself, not physically, but into your mind, into the place the final memory now burns like a second pulse. The wolf whines softly, nudging your shoulder. It senses what you're about to do. You lift your face toward the light, and you choose. The moment your decision solidifies, your mind moves on instinct, like a door opening inward. The ancient memory rises from its hiding place, pulled by something older than thought. Golden threads rip from your chest. The world roars. Wind slams outward in a circle, flattening the moss around you. The memory pours out, light, warmth, life flowing into the fissure like water returning to a shattered cup. The figure of light absorbs it, and for the first time you hear it feel, a cry of relief, a pulse of gratitude, a long-forgotten peace settling into its core. The fissure's glow shifts from gold to soft white, warm as breath. Your father's silhouette dissolves entirely, drifting upward in calm, gentle motes released. Your chest feels empty, but not hollow, just normal, human. The wolf presses against your side, steadying you as your mind reorients to a life without the ancient memory inside it. The light figure steps back toward the fissure. Its voice fills you one last time. You have returned what was lost. Now leave with what is yours. The fissure closes, slow, quiet, final. The golden glow fades into the stone. The crooked tree stops pulsing. The forest exhales, deep, relieved, whole. The wolf sits beside you, not watching the tree, watching you. And for the first time, the forest feels still, safe, alive in a different way. No longer yearning for what it lost, no longer pulling at your soul, just a forest. You stroke the wolf's fur. It leans into your touch. Rain softens into a mist, then stops entirely. Sunlight breaks through the canopy in thin beams, illuminating droplets on the wolf's whiskers, turning them to silver. You stand slowly. The wolf stands too. For a moment, the two of you look out over the forest, the drowned town beyond it, the world waiting for you to return, changed. You rest a hand on the wolf's neck. "Thank you," you whisper. It blinks once. Then, silent as breath, it turns and walks back into the trees. You don't follow. Its role is finished. Your path is different now. You take your first step back toward the ridge, toward the world you left behind, toward the story that began with a flood and ended with a memory older than time. And as you walk, one final truth settles gently into your chest. You didn't lose anything today. You returned what was never yours and kept what always was, yourself.